So when we're pressing our pieces down, we've got them all woven and we're happy with the way they look. When we go to press them down, we're going to start with our simple curvy weaving. We're going to start from the center, and we've done our first side, and now we're going to do the center and do our second side. So we want to just make sure that all of our intersections are nicely touching. Just that nicely. If you have any gaps, this would be the time to come in and just play with them a little bit. You can use a pair of tweezers if that's more useful for you. Basically, by holding on to one piece and kind of shimmying the other, you'll have that ability to do your final fussiness. And when you finally feel like, I've got this pretty well sorted, then it's time to bring your iron and get it nice and fused down. Do remember, if you have marked on your fabric with a chalk marker, you might want to get those marks off before you introduce your iron to the mix, because sometimes that heat sets the marking. And we're just going to do pressing, not ironing, which means an up-down motion. We don't want to be bringing the iron and moving it across the piece, because that can actually move the pieces as you go. So here's a little section here where I can see they're not quite meeting up. So I'm going to just shimmy that into place and then hit it with a little bit of heat. And then this one as well. Just going to get that nice and tight and then introduce a little heat. Now you can just touch it lightly at first and then, still be able to manipulate it if you need to. Take the time it takes for you to feel happy with your piece. Everybody has different levels of feeling comfortable. And in the end, if you find that you've got a little bit of, a hole or a little bit of light showing in between pieces, you don't have to stress about that too much, because in our next stage, when we're going to be stitching, you can take care of that then too. There is always a way to solve a problem. And then, like we did on the other side, we will add that final little piece that was left over onto the end, and you'll have a beautiful piece that is ready for stitching. When we are pressing down our half circle weave, I'm going to start from the beginning of the weave and make sure that that's nice and anchored in place first. And then I will work my way out to the outer edges, again making adjustments as I need to as I'm moving myself outward. Again, making sure that on your batting that you have that ample room at the bottom for where your applique of mountains and water are going to go. And this project is now also fused and ready for the next step.